Oh, live. All right, what's going on, everybody? This your boy King Gabe here with the Bible reading there. Uh, kind of, I guess you could say I'm late for being early this time, because usually be like between 8 and 8:30, but I called myself was gonna be on here like between 7 and 7:30, but it's still before 8, so that's why I say late for being early, like SpongeBob would say. Yeah. When you gonna start wearing a watch? so, uh, so, getting an so getting an earlier start. 'Cause like I say, we are one book away from Joshua, and like I said, like I've mentioned before, I really want to get to my boy Joshua, and not just Joshua, but all what all the other things that come after, with the judges. After the leaders like Moses and then Joshua, they started having judges. That's where old boy Samson came in, and then of course, had sort of an era where you didn't really have much in the way of leaders. That's the book of Ruth. Ruth kind of, what it was kind of I guess you could say somewhat non-leader time. And then of course, when First Samuel starts, yes, when we start getting the kings there. So, but we're getting ahead of it. We're getting a little too far ahead. So yeah, let's rewind back. And we are in Deuteronomy. We're gonna really go big on these next few ones. There is exactly 33 chapters in Deuteronomy. I did look ahead. Spoiler alert. And I my plan. Give me just a second. I gotta plug something in. But my plan is to get through this book at least by the month of October. Say within this month. Um, I guess technically, because like I say, we finished numbers last week. Um, but like I say, we still got this week and three more uh, weeks left for October. So the plan is to finish this within this month, and when November comes, after Halloween and everything, Joshua. Yeah, I guess we'll be having Thanksgiving with Joshua. So yeah, they should be thankful for their promised land. Yeah. Shout loud, Israel. Shout with all your might. Oh, so yeah, that's the plan there. So yeah, that's one reason why in the thumbnail you see 1 through 8 there, instead of like the usual 5 chapters. And like I say, I hope and pray that my other weeks will be like this one where I can, you know, do that there. And it's also another reason why, like I say, despite the fact of me not on the other live stream, why I'm still doing this one at least, so that way we can keep it going and get through that Bible. So yeah, so we're gonna do it. And like I say, be praying we get through it before October's over. So that is that will be the plan. Yep. So all right, Deuteronomy. Let's see. Push this. I can push this back a little bit here. Yeah, like that. Okay, so first chapter, starting with the leaders. That's it. That's it. Yeah. The command to leave Horeb. Horeb. I think that's how it's pronounced. Horeb. I remember seeing that word in the any. I need to post this at some point. But this old video game I used to play actually called Exodus, and one of my thumbnails actually is a picture from that video game of Moses, of a screenshot from that video game, where Journey to the Promised Land. You play as Moses. It was way back on Nintendo, from a company called Wisdom Tree. They I think they had some other Bible games too. Because I remember seeing them sold at a place we used to have here in Shreveport called Christian Life Christian tapes and books there. So, yeah, they had some biblical Nintendo games there, and let's just say, so that was the one I got, and in my opinion, probably the best one. Um, it definitely got its challenges there, but it was fun to play when I had it. So yeah, that and it was actually a black game cartridge too. That's the color that the cartridge was. Um so yeah, so that's what I heard that word Horeb, Horeb, I heard it from that game there. It was one of the items that was in the game there. So mhm. These are the words that Moses spoke to all Israel beyond the Jordan in the wilderness in the Harab opposite Suph, Sue, between Paran and Topa, Laban, Hazara, and Dizahab. Now remember one thing. This is this whole book. As a matter of fact, they say the first 30 chapters, which like I say 33. So that's pretty much most of this book here. Uh, they the what's being done in this pretty much this entire book is Moses preparing them. They're ready to go in. They're right there where they can march right to Jordan, but he has to inform them of the do's and don'ts, and I'm aware in the Exodus and Leviticus he had told this before. He had this so he's pretty much repeating Exodus and Leviticus, but he's telling it to a new generation because remember the older generation didn't quite make it through. They kept testing God and like, oh, when we gonna eat it? Oh, back in Egypt we had this. Oh, the giants over the problem that we can't do it. It kept going on and on and on, complaining, or as my video game would say, murmurings of Israel. So yeah, so that kept going on and on. So he's like, okay, y'all wanted this wilderness for 40 years. That way this older doubting generation can be weeded out. Gonna weed them out and let the new generation come in. I got some. Say Joshua and Cable. I know you guys are good. Y'all ready to go over there. Y'all with me. Yeah, we with you, Lord. So you two are gonna come over with this new generation over to the promised land. Oh, and one other thing, Joshua. I'm gonna have Moses. You're gonna I don't. You're not going to be the one to lead them in the promised land. You're going to pass over there to Joshua. Yeah, he's going to be the one to take them over there. Okay, that's yeah. Okay, yeah. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. All right, just making sure we make that clear. So that's pretty much what's going on here. So let's continue. And it is 11 days journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir to Kadesh Barnea. In the 40th year, on the first day of the 11th month, Moses spoke to the people of Israel according to all of the Lord had given him the commandment to them. After he defeated Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had lived in Heshbon, of Og, the king of Bashan, who lived in Asheron and Edron. Now, so we heard about the king Sihon. We did read about that. And like I said before, a lot of these are telling us what we saw last time. Let's see, King was it Sihon there? Yep, right here in the Bible. And let's see, what book was he mentioned in? There's a Sihon. Okay, I'm trying to see what book was he first mentioned in before now. It's like Bible Gateway. Okay, this will tell me. Okay, so King. Okay, so this was mentioned in the book of Numbers, last book. Okay, see that's one. And you know what? Like I say, well, Well, why are we having to reread what we just saw in, like the previous book of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers? And say, well, I put it this way, like again, he's talking to a newer generation, and also on top of that, it's actually is that this is because I mean all the stuff that was said over there, it's kind of it's actually not a bad idea to refresh us on, hey, remember this, remember that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, he did say. I kind of forgot about that a little bit. So nothing wrong with refreshing our memories on some things there, And I mean, in real life, a lot of time we do end up having to be refreshed on certain things. I mean, for one thing, that's why we go to that. That's one reason why we not only have we do both Bible study in your house, study the Bible at your house, get an understanding of it, and also with the congregation at church. So both at home and with the congregation at church, because you run across some at home, and you find some information on it, but maybe there's something, if you go to the congregation, maybe there might be a question that maybe you're not, maybe you found, the answer to it, but you're not quite understanding it. Yeah, that's what you have the congregation for. You can, somebody in the congregation probably understands something that you don't know right there in the Bible, and they've read the same thing and like, oh no, hey, Sister Ida made that. No, this is what that means there. Oh, let me help you out here, Brother Peter, over there. So that's one reason why. That's why both Bible study at home and with the and worship and Bible reading and then prayer is important in the congregation and with the congregation of the church. So like, and nothing and again, there's nothing wrong with being refreshed on some things there, because like I say, I mean, you take like I have read about uh, Saul in the book of Acts, way over in the New Testament, spoiler alert. I read about how he was going around killing Christians in the book of Acts. Then then Jesus himself, big ray of light, knocks him off his horse and tells him, "Why do you persecute me?" And he was in great fear. So then he was told to go to which we'll get to there. It'll be a while, but we'll get to there. But there was a man he was told to go to, and he was blinded, and this man would restore his sight, and after restoring his sight, he would be turned from Saul to Paul and converted to teach the teachings of Jesus. So, um, and the thing was, first time I saw that story, I was thinking like, oh man, Saul must have been like an atheist before he became Paul. But when I went to Brookwood, Pastor Rice informed us, reading that same scripture. I read this, but when he explained this at church, he explained Paul's not an atheist. He was going by the Old Testament teachers of Moses, just like the priests were, who were always trying to find something wrong with Jesus, because they're like, oh, he ain't that ain't the law of Moses. Your disciples ain't washing their hands. Should we give to Caesar? No. You can't be doing work on no Sabbath day. Oh, you speaking blasphemy. So yeah, pretty much he came from that group there. That's why he was going around killing the Christians, because this whole thing about, well, what Jesus say, nah, I can't roll with that. Oh, Jesus. Okay, okay, Jesus. I'm sorry. We cool. I'm gonna be Paul, and I'm gonna teach your teaching. So yeah, yeah, I did not know that. For all those after, even though I had read it, I didn't know that, and now I do. So that's why being refreshed is important, because sometimes we find out something we didn't know the first time around. Just like how people catch stuff in movies when they rewatch it. I didn't see that. So that's how. Yep. So don't. They say there's nothing wrong with being refreshed. Okay, and giving them the command to the and he after he defeated Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon, and all the king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth of Edrei. Beyond the Jordan in the land of Moab, Moses undertook to explain this law. The law, the Lord our God said to us in Horeb, you, they have stayed long enough in this mountain. Turn and take your journey and go to the hill of the Amorites, to all their neighbors of Arab in the hill country and the lowland of Negeb. It's like Negeb. It's like Negeb. Make it. It's a just let me out. It's a Negeb. So I don't want to get mistaken for saying something else here. And by the sea coast of the land of the Canaanites and Lebanon, as far as the great river of the river the Euphrates, see, I have set the land before you. Go in and take possession of the land that the Lord swore to your fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to give them and to their offspring after them. And now leaders appointed. At that time I said to you, okay, almost like last time in the Bible, I am not able to bear you by myself. The Lord your God has multiplied you, and behold, you are numerous as the stars of heaven. Remember, they said that that's what God told Abraham. Your descendants will be as numerous as the stars. Abraham, can you count those stars up there? No, Lord, I can't count those stars. That's a whole lot of stars up there. I can't count those stars. That's the way your descendants are going to be, Abraham. Really? Yes. Have faith. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get Isaac and Ishmael. Then from them, you're going to have from your promise, the promise on Isaac, you're going to get Jacob and Esau. Then from Jacob, you're going to get the 12 tribes of Israel. And from them, you're going to go on and on and on. That's what you're going. That's how it's going to be, Abraham. So, all right. So, yeah, the stars in heaven. May the Lord, the God of your fathers, make you 1,000 times as many as you are, and bless you as He has promised you. How can I bear myself the weight and burden of you and your strife? Choose for your tribes wise, understanding, and experienced men, and I will appoint them as your heads. Yeah, give me some wise leaders of each of your tribes. Sort of it's kind of this. Now this actually this I may have mentioned this before, but this reminds me of how things are at Kroger. And we have our store manager. That's pretty much like what Moses is, the head store manager. Then you have your co-managers. That would be like, Aaron, and then I guess Aaron's sons would also be like co-manager. They would alongside Moses, maybe possibly Joshua, but yeah, Aaron and his sons would be like the co-managers. Then under them, you got all the Israelites. That's like all of us employees. But all of us employees are divided into different departments. You got the front end, the cash, you got the whole front end, you got the produce, the dairy, the meat market, drug GM, the pharmacy, grocery, the night stockers. I think that's part of grocery. And so each one of these departments has, and also floral. Each one of these departments got their leader, a department head. So the department heads lead each department and take on what all the little small stuff going on in the department. And when stuff get real big, then the department heads got to come up to the boss and the co-bosses. Hey, we got something going on over here in produce there. Hey, meat market got something going down over there. So that's why you say appoint some leaders. Moses' father-in-law suggested this to him too. You need some leaders, Moses, because all this going to stress you out. They say, yeah, take my advice, sonny boy. So, how can I bear to try? And you answered. So I have, oh yeah. So I took the heads of your tribes, wise and experienced men, set them as heads over you, commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds and commanders of fifties and commanders of tens and officers on down throughout the tribes. And I have charged your judges at the time. Hear the cases between your brothers and judge righteously between a man and his brother or an alien who is with him. And of course, when they say alien, they mean like somebody that's outside of Israel. They're not talking about up there. They're not talking about outside of Earth. They're talking about right. Say that this like say it's a whole group of us here in America, and then you have somebody say from Spain or Japan comes over here, they would be considered an alien there. So that's enough. So that's what they mean like that there. Who is with him? You shall not be partial in judgment. You shall hear the small and the great alike. You shall not be intimidated by anyone, for the judgment is God's. At the case that is too hard for you, you shall bring to me, and I will hear it. And I commanded you at the time all these things you should do. And now Israel's refusal to enter the land. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go through this. I'm so tired of hearing this refusal to go into the land that God has promised you. I'm tired of that. But here we go. Then we set out from Horeb, went through all the great and terrifying wilderness that you saw. Okay, so he's still talking about what happened. Okay, that you saw on the way to the hill of the Amorites, as the Lord our God commanded us, and we came to Kadesh Barnea, and I said to you, you have come to the hill, the country of the Amorites, which the Lord is our God is giving us. See, the Lord your God has set the land before you. Go up, take possession as the Lord your God of your fathers has told you. Do not fear or be dismayed. Then all of you came near me and said, let us send men before us that we may explore this land and bring word again on the way back, say of again, which we must go up into the cities which we shall come. Things seemed good to me. I took 12 men, one man from each tribe. Okay, remember this. And they turned and went up to the hill country to the valley of Escah and spied it out. And they took in their hands some of the fruit of the land and brought it down to us and brought word again. It is a good land that the Lord our God is giving to us. Sounds good. Okay. What else? Yet you would not go up, but rebelled against the command of the Lord your God, and you murmured in your tents, and said, because the Lord hated us, he has brought us out of the land of Egypt to give into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us. If he hated you, why do you think he brought you out of Egypt, out of the slavery? That don't sound like somebody that hates you. That sounds like somebody who loves you. Because somebody who hates you, Israel, would have left you over there. So, the people are greater and taller than we. The cities are fortified up to the heaven. And besides, we have seen the sons of Anakim there. Then I said to you, do not dread or be afraid of them, for the Lord your God goes before you. He himself will fight for you, just as he did in Egypt before your eyes. And in the wilderness, where you have seen how the Lord your God carried you, as a man carries his son, all the way that you went and came into this place. Yet, in spite of this word, you did not believe the Lord your God, who went before you in the way to seek out the place to pitch your tents, fire by night and the cloud by the day to show you the way you should go. And then there was, and now the penalty of Israel's rebellion. And the Lord heard the words and was angered, and he swore, not one of these men of this evil generation shall see the good land that I swore to give to your fathers. That's why this new younger generation is about to enter. So y'all better make sure y'all act right. As they act right, as Martin Lawrence said at their funeral, act right. Well, actually, it was Chris Rock, but yeah. Except Cable, the son of Jephunneh, he shall see it, and to him and to his children I will give the land on which he has trodden, because he has wholly followed the Lord. Even with me, the Lord was angry on your account. You shall not go there. Joshua, the son of Nun, who stands before you, he shall enter. Encourage him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit it. And as for your little ones, who you said would become a prey, and your children who today have no knowledge of good or evil, they shall go in there, and to them I will give it, and they will possess it. But as for you, turn and journey into the wilderness in the direction of the Red Sea. Then you answered, we have sinned against the Lord. We will group ourselves up and fight as the Lord commanded. And every one of you fastened on his weapons and thought it easy to go up into the hill country. And the Lord said to me, say to them, do not go up and fight, for I am not in your midst, lest you be defeated before your enemies. So I spoke to you, but you wouldn't listen. You rebelled against the command of the Lord, and presumably went up into the hill, and the Amorites who lived in that hill country came against you and chased you as bees do, and beat you down in Seir as far as Hamath. And you returned and wept before the Lord, but the Lord did not listen to your voice or give it ear. So you remained in Kadesh many days that you remained there, because y'all didn't listen. That's why. Told y'all already. Almost make me think of how our parents tell we get ready to go somewhere with our parents, like the store or something. Like, look, I'm telling you right now, the behavioral self and how to act in here, and don't get in this store with me and act like we ain't had this conversation. That was a comedian, Sister Cantaloupe, who said that, and I've heard my mama tell me that. Don't get in here and act like we ain't had this conversation. And trust me, if you do that, trust me, they'll make that. Trust me, you will have the route. So you'll end up getting the consequences there to that. And believe me, I know that personally. So the wilderness years. Then we turned and journeyed into the wilderness in the direction of the Red Sea, as the Lord told me. And many days we traveled around Mount Seir, and the Lord said to me, you've been traveling around this mountain country long enough. Turn northward and command the people you're about to pass through the territory of your brothers, the people of Esau, who live in Seir, and they will be afraid of you. So be very careful. Do not contend with them, for I will not give you any of their land, no, not so much as a sole of the foot to tread on, because I have given Mount Seir to Esau as a possession. So you will purchase food from them with money that you may eat. You shall buy water from them with money that you may drink. For the Lord your God has blessed you in all the works of your hands. He knows you're going through this wilderness, these 40 years that the Lord your God has been with you. You have lacked nothing. So we went away from our brothers, the people of Esau who lived there in Seir, away from Arab, the road of Edom, Izagah, and we turned and went in the direction of Moab. No, okay, yeah, we just pass it right through. Hey, what's going on, Esau? Yeah, we cool. We just walking on through. We ain't got no quarrel with you. And the Lord said to me, do not harass Moab or contend with them in battle, for I will not give you any of their land for the possession. I've already given it to AR, to the people of Lot for the possession. The Edom formerly lived there, the great people of many and tall, as the Econim, like the like the Anakim, they were counted as Rephaim. But the Moabites called them Emim, Emim. The Horites who lived in Seir formerly, but the people of Esau dispossessed they dispossessed them and destroyed them before from before them and settled in their place as Israel did the land of their possession that the Lord gave them. Now rise up and go over the brook Zered, and the time from our leaving Kadesh Barnea until we crossed the brook Zerah was about 80 years, until the entire generation, that is, the men of war, had perished from the camp, as the Lord had sworn to them. For indeed, the hand of the Lord was against them to destroy them from the camp until they had perished. Second, yeah. As soon as all the men of the war had perished and were dead from among the people, the Lord said to me, you are to cross the border of Moab at Ar, and when you approach the territory of the people Ammon, do not harass them or contend with them, for I will not give you any of the land of the people of Ammon. Ammon. I used that name in one of my stories there. Okay. As a possession, let me turn this. Let me put the sound off on here. Second. There we go. All right. Okay, so do not harass or contend with them, for I will not give you any of the land of the people of Ammon as a possession, because it was given to the sons of Lot for possession. It is also counted as the land of Rephaim, who formerly lived there, but the Amorites called it Zalzim. Zalzimun. Got some names in here. And a great people, and many and tall as Akim, but the Lord destroyed them before the Amorites. They dispossessed them and settled in their place, as he did for the people of Esau who lived in Seir when he destroyed the Horites before them. They dispossessed them and settled in their place even to this day. As for Abram, who lived in the villages of Gaz, to Capernaum, who came from Coptar, destroyed them and settled in their place. Rise up and set out on your journey and go over to the valley of Arnon. Behold, I have given into your hand Sihon, the Amorite king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to take possession and contend with him in battle. This day I will begin to put the dread and fear of you on the people who are under the whole heaven, who shall hear the report of you and shall tremble and be in anguish because of you. And the defeat of King Solomon. So I sent messengers to the wilderness of Kedemoth to Silam, the king of Heshbon, with the words of peace, saying, let me pass through your land, and I will only go by the road. I will turn aside neither to the right nor the left. You shall sell me food for money that I may eat. Give me water for money that I may drink. Only let me pass through on foot, as the sons of Esau who lived in Seir and the Moabites who did in Ar did for me, until I go over the Jordan into the land that the Lord is giving us. But Sihon, the king of Heshbon, would not let them pass by, for the Lord your God had hardened his spirit and made his heart obstinate, that he might give him into your hand as of this day. The Lord said to me, behold, I have begun to give Sihon and his land to you. Begin to take possession, that you may occupy his land. Then Sihon came against us and the people at the battle of Jahaz, and the Lord our God gave him over to us, and we defeated him and all his sons and all his people, and captured all his cities at that time, and devoted to destruction every city, men, women, and children. We left no survivors, only the livestock we took as spoils for ourselves, with the plunder, of and from the cities of that is in this valley as far as Gilead. There was not a city too high for us. The Lord our God gave all into our hands, only the land of the sons of Ammon did you not draw near, that is, and all the banks of the river Jabbok, and the cities of the hill country, whatever the Lord our God had forbidden us. In chapter 3, the defeat of King Og. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan, and Og, the king of Bashan, came out against us, he and all his people, to battle Edrei. But the Lord has said to me, do not fear him, for I have given him and all his people and his land into your hand, and you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon. The Lord our God gave into our hands Og, also the king of Bashan, and all his people, and we struck him down and left no survivors, took all the cities. At that time, there was not a city that we did not take from them, 60 cities, the whole region of Agab, the kingdom of Og and Bashan. All the cities were fortified with high walls, gates, and bars, by the many unwalled villages that we devoted them to destruction. As the children, but all the livestock and the spoils of the city we took as plunders. So we took the land at the time out of the hand of the two kings of the Amorites, who were beyond the Jordan in the valley of Arnon, of Mount Hermon. The, the Sidonites call Hermon Silon, while the Amorites call it Senir. All the cities of the tableland and all Gilead and Bashan, as far as Salika and Idria, cities of the kingdoms of Og of Bashan. For only Og, the king of Bashan, was left as the remnant of the Ripim. Behold, his bed, was a bed of iron. It is not in Rabbah of the Amorites. 9 cubits was its length, and 4 cubits was its breadth, according to the common cubit. When we took possession of that land, I gave it to the Reubenites and the Gadites, and the territory beginning at which was at the edge, on the edge of the valley of Arnon, and half of the hill country of Gilead, with its cities, the rest of Gilead, and all of Bashan, the kingdom of Og, that is, all the region of Agab, I gave to the half tribe of Manasseh. But all that portion of Bashan is called the land of Ripim. Jah, the Masonite, took all the region of Agab, that is Bashan, as far as the border of the Gershonites, and the Machanites called the villages after his own name. Habat Jar, as it is to this day, to Makar, I give Gilead, and to the Reubenites and the Gilead I give the territory of Gilead as far as the valley of Arnon, with the middle of the valley as the border as far as the river Jabbok and the border of the Amorites, and the Amorite also with the Jordan as the border of Chinnereth, as far as the sea of Arab, the salt sea under the slopes of Pisgah, say Pisgah on the east. And I command you at that time, saying, the Lord has given you this land to possess. All the men of valor shall cross over armed before your brothers of the people of Israel, only your wives and little ones and your livestock. I know that you have much livestock shall remain in the cities that I give you until the Lord gives rest to your brothers as to you, and they occupy the land that the Lord gives you beyond the Jordan. Then each of you may return to his possession, to which I am giving you. And I commanded Joshua at this time, your eyes have seen all that the Lord has done to these kings. So will the Lord do to all the kingdoms which you are crossing. You shall not fear them, for it is the Lord your God who fights for you. And Moses is forbidden to enter the land. I pleaded with Moses at the time, saying, O Lord God, you have only begun to show your servant your greatness and your mighty hand. For what God is there on heaven and earth that could do such works and mighty acts as yours? Please let me go over to see the good land beyond the Jordan, the hill country of Lebanon. But the Lord was angry with me because I would not say and would not listen. Was angry with me because of you and would not listen to me. And the Lord said to me, enough from you. Do not speak to me of this matter again. Go up to the top of Pisgah. Lift up your eyes eastward and northward and southward and eastward, and look at it with your eyes, for you shall not go over this Jordan, but charge Joshua and encourage and strengthen him, for he shall go over ahead with this people, and he shall put them in possession of the land that you shall see. So we remain in the valley opposite Beth Peor. In chapter 4, Moses commands obedience. They say obedience is better than sacrifice. And now, O Lord, listen to the statutes and the rules that I am teaching you, and do them, that you may live, and go in and take possession of the land that the Lord your God, the God of your fathers, is giving you. You shall not add to the word that I command you, nor take from it, that you may keep the commandments of the Lord that I command you. Your eyes have seen what the Lord did at Baal Peor. For the Lord your God destroyed from among you all the men that followed the Baal of Peor. But you who held but you who held fast to the Lord your God are all alive today. See, I have taught you statutes and rules, as the Lord my God commanded me that you should do them in the land that you are entering to take possession of. Keep them and do them, for that will be your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the peoples, who when they hear all the statutes will say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what great nation is there that has a God so near to it as the Lord our God is to us whenever we call upon him? And what great nation is there that the statutes and rules so righteous as all this law that I have set before you today? Only take care and keep your soul diligently, lest you forget these things that your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life. Make them known to your children and your children's children, on how the day that you stood before the Lord at Horeb, Lord your God at Horeb, and the Lord said to me, gather all the people and let them hear my words, so that they may learn to fear me all the days that they live on earth, that they may teach their children And you came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, while the mountain burned with fire to the heart of heaven, wrapped in darkness, cloud, and gloom. Then the Lord spoke to you. So the Lord spoke to you out of the midst of the fire. You heard the words, but saw no form. There was only a voice. And he declared to you his covenant. And he commanded you to perform, that is, the Ten Commandments. And he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone. And the Lord commanded me at the time to teach you these statutes and rules that you might do them in the land you're going over to possess. First of all, idolatry forbidden. Therefore, you shall watch yourselves very carefully, since you saw no form on that day that the Lord spoke to you in Horeb in the midst of the fire. Beware lest you act corruptly and make carved images of yourself in the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any animal on the earth, or the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the air, anything that creeps on the ground, the likeness of the fish of the water of the earth. And beware lest you raise your eyes to heaven when you see the sun, the moon, and the stars, all the host of heaven, that you be drawn away and bow to them and serve them, things that the Lord your God has allotted to you people under the whole heaven. But the Lord has taken you and brought you out of the iron furnace of Egypt to be a people of his own inheritance, as you are this day. Furthermore, the Lord was angry with me because he swore that I should not cross the Jordan, and that I should not go into the good land that the Lord your God is giving you for inheritance. For I must die in this land. I must not cross over Jordan, but you shall go over and take possession of that good land. Take care lest you forget the covenant of your God, of the Lord your God, which he has made you, and make a carved image form of anything that the Lord your God has forbidden you. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. And we know what that, and like I said in another previous Bible reading, when God is jealous, it's not like us being jealous. We get jealous because somebody got something we ain't got. But God is jealous because we settling for something when he's given us something better. When your father, children, and children's children, and have grown old in the land, if you act corruptly by making a carven image in the form of anything, by doing what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, so as to provoke him with anger, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today. You will surely perish from the land that you are going over the Jordan to possess. You will not live long in it. You will be utterly destroyed, and the Lord will scatter you amongst the people, and there will be left few in number among the nations where the Lord will drive you, and there you will serve, and there'll be few in numbers drive you, and there you will serve gods of wood, stone, and the work of human hands that you neither see nor hear, nor eat or smell. But from there you will seek the Lord your God. You will find him if you search after him with all your heart and soul when you are in tribulation. And all these things come upon you in the latter days. You will return to the Lord your God and obey his voice. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not leave you, destroy you, or forget the covenant with your fathers that he swore to them. He will not leave nor forsaken you. The Lord alone is God. For I ask now, for the days that are past, which are before you, since the day that God created man on the earth, and asked from one end of heaven to another, whether such a great thing as this has ever happened or ever was heard of. Did any people ever hear the voice of God speaking out of the midst of the fire as you have heard and still live? Or has any God ever attempted to go and take a nation for himself in the midst of another nation by trials, by signs and wonders, by war, by a mighty hand, outstretched arm, and by great deeds of terror, all that which the Lord did for you in Egypt before your eyes was shown to you, that which you might know that the Lord is God. There is no other beside him out of the heaven. Let you hear his voice, that he might discipline you. We were talking about discipline at church last Sunday. On the earth, he let you see his great fire, and you heard his word out of the midst of the fire. And because you loved your fathers and chose their offspring after them, and brought you out of Egypt, because he loved your fathers and chose their offspring after them, brought you out of Egypt with his own presence, by his great power, driving out before you greater nations, mightier than you, to bring you in and give you their land and inheritance as of this day. Now, therefore the day, there is no other, therefore you shall keep his statutes and commandment, which I command you today, that it may go well with you and with your children after you, that you may prolong your days in the land that the Lord your God has given you for all time. And Moses set apart 3 cities in the east beyond the Jordan, that the manslayer might flee. Anyone who kills his neighbor unintentionally without being an enemy with him in time past may flee to those cities to save his life. Bezar and the wilderness, the tableland for the Reubenites, Amoth and Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan and Bashan for the Manassites. This is the law that Moses set before the people of Israel. These are the testimony and statutes and rules which Moses spoke to the people when they came out of Egypt beyond the Jordan, in the valley opposite of Bir Peah, in the land of Salom, the king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon, whom Moses and the people of Israel defeated when they came out of Egypt, and they took possession of his land, in the land of Og, the king of Bashan, the 2 kings of the Amorites who lived to the east beyond of Jordan, from Ai, which is on the edge of the valley of Arnon, as far as the Mount Saron, that is Hermon, together with all the Arabah on the east side of Jordan, as far as the sea of Abra, under the slopes of Pisgah. And then you got chapter 5, the 10 Commandments. Moses summoned all Israel and said, "Hear, O Israel, the statutes and the rules I speak in your hearing today, and you shall learn them and be careful to do them. The Lord our God has made a covenant with us in Horeb, not with our fathers. Not with our fathers did the Lord. Not with our fathers did the Lord make this covenant, but with us who are here alive today. The Lord spoke to you face to face in the mountain, in the midst of the fire, and while I stood between the Lord and you at that time to declare to you the word of God, for you were afraid because of the fire and did not go up into the mountain. And he said, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other God before me. You shall not make for yourself any carved image of any likeness that is in heaven or on the earth beneath or in the water under the earth. You shall not bow to them or serve them, for the Lord your God am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers of the children to the 3rd and 4th generations of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless to take his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath and keep it holy, as the Lord has commanded you. 6 days shall you labor to do all your work, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work. You or your son or your daughter or your male servant or your female servant or your ox or your donkey or any of the livestock or the sojourner who is within your gates, that your male servant or your female servant may rest as well. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought you from out of there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore, the Lord your God commanded you to keep the Sabbath. Honor your mother and father, as the Lord has commanded you, that your days may be long and that it may go well with you in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. And you shall not covet your neighbor's wife. And you shall not desire your neighbor's house, his field, male servant, a female servant, an ox, a donkey, or anything that is of your neighbor. These words the Lord spoke to all your assembly at the mountain in the midst of the fire and the cloud and the thick darkness with a loud voice, and he added no more. He wrote them on 2 stone tablets and gave them to me. And you as soon as you heard the voice in the midst of the darkness while the mountain was burning with fire, you came near the heads of your tribes and elders, and you said, "Behold, the Lord our God has shown us glory and greatness, and we have heard his voice from the midst of the fire. This day we have seen God speak with man, and man still lives. Therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the Lord our God anymore, we shall die. For who is there of all flesh that has heard the voice of the living God speaking out of the midst of the fire and still live? Go near and hear all that the Lord our God will say and speak to us. All that the Lord our God will speak to you, and we will hear and do it. And the Lord heard your words when you spoke to me, and the Lord said to me, I have heard the words of people which have spoken. They are right in all they have spoken. Oh, that they had such a heart, as this always to fear me and to keep all my commandments, that it will go well with them and their descendants forever. Go to them and say, return to your tents, but you stand here by me, and I will tell you the whole commandment and statutes and the rules that I shall teach them, that you may do them in the land that I am giving you to possess. You shall be careful, therefore, to do as the Lord your God has commanded. And you shall not turn aside to the right hand or the left. You shall not walk in all the way that you shall walk in the way that the Lord command you, that you may live, and that it may go well with you, and you may live long in the land you possess. Chapter 6, the greatest commandment. Remember hearing something like this in the New Testament. Now, this is the commandment, the statutes, and the rules that the Lord your God has commanded me to teach you, that you may do them in the land which you are going over to possess, and fear the Lord your God, your son, and your son's son, by keeping all the statutes and commandments of which I command you all the days of your life, that they may be long. Hear, therefore, O Israel, and be careful to do them. It may go well with you, and that you may greatly multiply, as the Lord God your fathers has promised you, in the land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. These words I command you that today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children and talk to them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand. They shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on your doorposts and your house, on your gates. And when the Lord your God brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and give you the great and good cities that you did not build, and the houses full of good things you did not fill, and the cisterns that you did not dig, the vineyards and the olive trees you did not plant. Hey, eat, when you eat and are full, then take care lest you forget the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. It is the Lord your God you shall fear, and you shall serve, and by his name you shall swear. You shall not go after other gods, the gods of the people who are around you. For the Lord your God will be in your midst is a jealous God, lest the anger of the Lord your God is kindled against you, and he shall destroy you from the face of the earth. You shall not put the Lord your God to the test, as you tested him at Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God and his testimonies and his statutes which he has commanded you. And you shall do what is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may go well with you, and that you may take in the possession of the good land that the Lord swore to give to your fathers by thrusting out all your enemies before you, as the Lord promised, when your sons ask you in time to come, what is the meaning of the testimonies and the statutes and the rules that the Lord our God has commanded you? And you will say to your son, we were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt. The Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand, and the Lord showed us signs and wonders and great and grievous against Egypt and against Pharaoh and all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out of here that he might bring us and give us the land which he swore to our fathers. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God for our good ways, that he might preserve us alive as we are today, and it will be righteousness for us if we are careful to do all his commandments before the Lord our God as he has commanded. Chapter 7, a chosen people. When the Lord your God brings you into the land you're about to enter and take possession of it, and clears away many of the nations before you, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations more numerous and mightier than you. And when the Lord your God gives them over to you, you will defeat them. Then you must devote them to complete destruction. You shall make no covenant with them, and show no mercy to them. You shall not intermarry with them, giving your daughters to their sons, or taking their daughters for your sons. For they would turn away your sons from following me and serve other gods. Then the anger of the Lord shall be kindled against you, and he would destroy you quickly. But thus shall you deal with them, and shall break down their altars, and dash in pieces their pillars, chop down their asham, and burn their carved images with fire. For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for his treasured possession out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. It is not because of it's not because of you. It's not because you were more in number than any of the people that the Lord set his love on you and chose you. You were the fewest people, but it is because the Lord loves you and keeps the oath he swore to your fathers, that the Lord has brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of slavery, the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Now, therefore, that the Lord your God is God, and the faithful God who keeps the covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments 1,000 generations, and repays to their face those who repay him. Say, pay to their face those who repays to their face. Say, Okay, well, I said, okay, the thousand generation, and repays to their face those who hate him by destroying them. He will not slack with the one who hates him. He will repay him to his face. Therefore, be careful. Do the commandments of the statutes and rules I command you today. And because you listen to these rules and do them, the Lord will keep with you the covenant, the steadfast love he swore to your fathers. He will love you, bless you, and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your ground, and he will and your grain, your wine, and your oil, and increase your herds and your and the young of your flock in the land that he swore to your fathers to give you. You shall be a blessed above all people. There shall be not there shall not be male or female barren among you, your livestock among your livestock, and the Lord will take away from you all sickness and none all sickness and none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which you knew, will he inflict on you, but he will lay them on those who hate you. And you shall consume all the people that the Lord your God will give over you. Your eyes shall not pity them, neither shall you serve their gods, for that would be a snare to you. If you say in your heart, these nations are greater than I, how can I dispose them? They, you shall you shall not be afraid of them, but remember what the Lord your God did to the Pharaoh of Egypt. In the great trials you saw the signs, the wonders, the mighty hand, the outstretched arm by which the Lord had brought you out, and so will the Lord your God do to all these people whom you are afraid. Moreover, the Lord your God will send hornets among them until all who are left, until those who are left and hide themselves from you are destroyed. You shall not be in dread of them, for the Lord your God is in your midst, and a great and awesome God. Like our God is an awesome God. The Lord your God will clear away these nations before you, little by little. You may not make an end of them at once, lest the wild beasts grow too numerous for you. But the Lord your God will give them over, to you and throw them into great confusion until they are destroyed, and he will give their kings into your hands, and you shall make their name perish from under the heaven. No one will be able to stand against you until you have destroyed them. The carved images of their gods you shall burn with fire. You shall not covet the silver or the gold that is on them, or take it for yourselves, lest you be ensnared by it, for it is an abomination to the Lord your God. You shall not bring an abomination thing into your house and become devoted to destruction like it. You shall utterly detest and abhor it, for it is devoted by destruction. And the last chapter for tonight, remember the Lord your God, chapter 8. The whole commandment that I command you today, you shall be careful to do. Be careful to do, that you may live and multiply. Go in, possess the land that the Lord swore to give to your fathers. You shall remember the whole way that the Lord your God, God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness, that he might be humble. That he might humble you, testing you to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. He has humbled you and let you hunger and fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, that he might make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. That's what Jesus told Satan, and when he's like, command these stones to become loaves of bread. Okay? You do not Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of God. So, mouth of the Lord, your clothing did not wear you out. You did not wear out on you, and your foot did not swell these 40 years. Know in your heart that as a man disciplines his son, the Lord also, the Lord your God disciplines you. So you shall keep the commandments of the Lord your God by walking in his ways, by fearing him. For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, the land of brooks of water, of fountains and springs, flowing out the hills and valleys, a land of wheat and barley, of vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive trees and honey, a land which you will eat bread without scarcity, in which you will lack nothing, a land whose stones are iron, and out of a land you can dig copper, and you shall eat and be full. You shall bless the Lord your God for the good land he has given you. Take care lest you forget the Lord your God by not keeping his commandments and his rules or statutes which I command you today, lest when you have eaten and are full and have built good houses and live in them, and when your herds and flocks you multiply, and your silver and gold is multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied, then your heart will be lifted up, and you forget the Lord your God, who has brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, who led you the great and terrifying wilderness, so his fiery serpents and scorpions and thirsty ground where there was no water, and brought you rock out of a flinty rock, who fed you in the wilderness with manna that your fathers did not know, that he may humble you and test you to do good to in the end. Beware lest you say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand has gotten me this wealth. You shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you great power and wealth. Just like how I've told people, where me and my wife have gotten up to this point only because of God there. Like I say, I first moved out on my own. That as a I had no I there's a it was as a I had no idea how I was going to even get to where I'm at right now. But it was only because of the grace of God that we're still here today. You should remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may confirm his covenant that he swore to your fathers as of this day. And if you forget the Lord your God and go after other gods and serve them and worship them, I solemnly warn you today that you will utterly perish like the nations that the Lord makes to perish before you. So so shall you perish because you would not obey the voice of the Lord your God. All right. That's quite a big read there. We got some big read. That's what I say. Let's say, be praying and trusting we get through that within this month, which means it's going to be some big readings for the next few weeks. So, but that's what we're stopping off at today. So definitely make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and definitely buy available books and hit us up on that Patreon, just like Iceman Universe, and check out his stuff by supporting him as well. And also support the Miracle Crew. Yep, yours truly, Queen Tina, Big Sis Casey, and of course, EJ the Supreme. And just like you hang out with us in the live stream, you can also hang out with us on Discord and on Facebook. And we can sell each other some stuff from the McCary app. And without further ado, that ends today's reading live stream. So we will see y'all in the next video. Y'all take care, everybody.